The true chairman will be here as soon as he can, coming from another committee, but given where we are in the process and the number of folks who've come this evening, we want to go ahead and move along with the process. With that being said, I will just start off procedurally. If you are here interested in House Bill 1451 without objection, that will go by for the day. We don't have to. But when we vote, we have a quorum, we know it. I'm just saying. Okay. Sure. Here. We have no sign up that I'm aware of, so I'll just start looking down numerically, unless. Okay. I have been overridden. Please take attendance. It's all good. Given the potential of technology challenges, all members present, please record your presence on the electronic board. All right, and we have a quorum and we're ready to proceed. All righty. Delegate Campbell, I see House Bill 1548, not in the room. Delegate Corey, not in the room. Krizik, you're moving up quick in the lineup here. Yep, boom, Delegate Krizik, 1998.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee. This bill you saw last year, we have done what the committee's asked us to do and made it into a more of a not mandatory requirements, but more permissive. So this directs the Secretary of Natural and Historic Resources, Agriculture and Forestry to coordinate the development of a strategic action that state agencies could take to prioritize the use of using native plant species in the Commonwealth. We have a number of people here who want to testify on it, and I'll let them talk about all the good things, but we all know why native plants are good, Virginia native plants. They require less maintenance, less water, because they've adapted to our climate, and they need less fertilizer, less pruning, less pesticides because they're hardier plants. So I'll let those folks, are they going to be able to testify? Okay. So I do have some amendments. So I need to, and I'll go through the amendments. So you need to have a motion to accept. All right. There's the. You're going to go.
All right, staff, you have some amendments whenever you get ready. It's all good. It's all good. All right, I'll share. I'm a school teacher. We can pass around either way. Y'all get yours last. That goes on. Oh, you passed yours on.
Yeah, I passed one.
And these amendments, Delegate Krizik, were at your own request, at the request of the department?
These come from the Department of Conservation and Recreation. I think these are really good amendments, and I can walk you through them if you go to.
So line 20, after address the strike rising cost, insert increasing threats. Line 51, strike after appropriate to, convert and insert restore. And on line 53, after wind, strike purchasing for installation and insert planting or propagating. The three amendments, but I think we can act on them in a block. Do I hear a motion to adopt the amendments?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. The amendments have been properly attached to those before us. Delegate Krizik.
So I would just to make it very clear that these strategic actions that this bill contemplates are we don't use mandating strong verbs here. If you look at lines 51, 52, 53, for example, little 1, little I, it's identify state properties, and then little double I, encourage all state agencies, and triple I, provide guidance. So this is just to get us down the road towards encouraging and setting a good example to use the Virginia natives. And I do have a number of people here who would like to speak.
All right, before we hear from them, Delegate, if you may, is there anyone here representing VDACs, forestry, any of these folks who would be underneath? The only heartburn I potentially have, I see on line 50, they have to do this. And my question that raises is, when you tell them they have to do something, they need to be able to tell us they have the resources to do so at this time, or else it's going to be going upstairs.
Mr. Chair,
that be
Larry
correct,
Nichols with
Delegate
VDOTs.
Ferris?
You're talking about what line again?
Well, they're giving y'all a mandate
Yeah, if you see what it's like, it says.
that y'all shall coordinate the
Coordinate
development of all
street
these actions,
to
strategies.
prioritize the use of native. It's just, you're just coordinate development to prioritize the
And,
use.
and my question, are you okay with that being shall versus may?
Well, the directive here is already is already required of the Secretaries of Natural Resources and Agriculture and Forestry to
Okay.
work with this invasive species work group. So
Okay.
I think it would fall right in line
Okay.
with what they're already doing.
All righty. So Delegate Creasy, you have folks here, and given the press of time, we're going to limit any presenters to 2 minutes or less, please, because we do have a pretty lengthy agenda.
None of us can hear you. The sound is not turned on.
I'm not sure what we can do about it. Is that true for everybody out there in the ether world?
It looks like it, because they're not responding.
Wave your hand if you can't hear me. I know. Comedy's hard, you know. Do you have individuals here in the room, or those in the room who would like to speak in support of while we try and figure out the technology challenges? Are there those in the room to speak in opposition?
Did he see us? He can see Scott.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
who was that to testify?
Was it VDAX?
He didn't tell us who he was. I don't know who he was.
His Department of Agriculture.
Okay.
All right, Delegate Creasy, here's kind of where we are.
Okay.
There was no opposition, which is probably a good sign, especially I presume everybody out there is wanting the bill to pass.
Yep. And we got Stormwater Conservation Board
Are
Chairman.
they
there.
going to be upset if we pass it and they don't get to talk?
No.
Okay. All right. It has been moved, properly seconded, that we'd recommend reporting House Bill 1998.
Mr. Chairman,
Discussion on the motion. Delegate Ferris.
Mr. Chairman, on line 50, as you had stated, it says we shall. I'm not sure if it would have a fiscal impact or not, but it appears to me it could. So I would request that you send it to appropriations at this time to let us make
All
sure.
right, and would it be a reasonable presumption in that, given that full committee won't meet until Wednesday? I would think if you have confirmation from appropriations staff that it doesn't need to go up there, then we could easily remove it at full committee level. Would you agree, Delegate Ferris?
I would.
But in an abundance of caution, I think his substitute motion is at this juncture, we would recommend reporting and referring to appropriations. We embrace the policy. We just want to make sure we've got the money to pay for it.
That's fine.
All right, are you okay with that, Delegate?
Yeah.
Okay. And truly, I mean, if you get the okay from on high by next Wednesday, we can easily just send it
I
on
mean,
out.
they've already said there's no fiscal
Right.
impact. So I'm
So-
not worried about that. And I'm on appropriations, so.
So everybody on the committee understand the motion is to recommend reporting and referring, giving him a second at-bat at full committee if we get that taken out. With
Yeah,
amendments,
as
as amended. Yep. Discussion on the motion, hearing none. Members, record your vote on the board on the motion to report with amendments and refer to appropriations. Have all members voted to care to be recorded? The bill is recommended for reporting and referral 7-2. Thank you, Delegate Creasy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And to all the folks out there in Etherland, if you can now hear us, sorry about that, but we just passed your bill anyway, so. Okay, do we have any other patrons in the room? Oops, I'm sorry. I gotta look better. All right, who is here first? Delegate Shin. House Bill 2042.
Everywhere I go, I gotta lower the mic. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I believe council has prepared a substitute, and so if it's the pleasure of the committee to adopt the substitute and put it in proper posture before the committee.
Move adoption of the substitute.
All right, we have a motion pending to adopt substitute. I'm going to give members a chance to read over the language before we act on that motion.
Sure.
And while we're perusing it, Delegate Shin, can you tell us the difference in the substitute?
Yes, absolutely.
From
In
the
its
original.
original form, HB 2042 had included whistleblower protections and incentives for reporting such violations, and these provisions have been removed in the substitute before you. The substitute removes those protections but keeps in place the requirement that facilities that use animals in research to report the number of animals they experiment on and to develop a plan to reduce the number of animals they're experimenting on over time.
Delegate Shin, was there anything in your original legislation that requested any kind of annual reporting?
Yes.
Could you point me to that
Sure. I
section in the
believe it
original?
was in line 68 in the original version. I don't have the original version in front of me, but if you give me 1 second, I can pull it up.
I'm reading a plan outlining how such facility or manufacturer will reduce the use of animals in such research that includes an estimate of the percentage reduction of such use
Yes.
over the next 10 years.
I'm sorry. So if you look at line 59,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, it says that an annual report shall be
Got it.
submitted on
Okay.
or before December 1st.
And for the question behind that was this going to be germane, but it is a part of the original legislation. So,
Yes, sir.
committee members, you have the substitute before you. All those in favor of adopting the substitute signify by saying aye. All opposed, nay. And with that, Mr. Chairman, we'll turn it over to you to run the show with that amendment properly attached.
I don't know, Mr. Chairman, you seem to be doing a pretty good job. I'll go take a vacation.
Sorry.
All right.
Oh, I can-
So now can you explain what your bill does with
Yes.
the substitute?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the Federal Animal Welfare Act currently does not cover the species most commonly used in animal testing today, and Virginia does not have any reporting requirements for animal testing at all. Currently, facilities using animals not covered under the Animal Welfare Act do not have to report to the USDA or to any other government agency, which results in very little federal or state oversight or visibility into the experiments and the animals that are being used in these experiments. Without reporting requirements, consumers are unable to make informed decisions about the products they buy, and the state lacks the important information we need to evaluate the extent of animal testing being implemented in this Commonwealth. And the bill will require entities that test on animals to report the quantity of animals in their possession, the total number euthanized, and the percentage of their budget they invest in animal-related testing rather than alternative research methods. And finally, under the substitute, facilities would develop and submit a 10-year plan to the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services on how they're going to reduce the number of animals they're using in their facilities for research. Congress recently passed the FDA Modernization Act, allowing the FDA to forego animal testing when researching new pharmaceutical drugs. And by passing this bill, we would be following an already established federal precedent and promote innovative and more humane research methods in the Commonwealth, sir.
Mr. Chairman,
Delegate Orr.
I had a question, and probably of the department on this. Somebody from
we talking
the
VDAX?
state vetter. Okay.
Delegate.
Mr. Chairman, if I understand, I'm reading on line 2324 where they have to do this reporting in a form prescribed by the department. Given that this would take effect July 1, do we not need enactment language that would give y'all time to come up with a form and disseminate such?
Mr. Chairman, Charlie Broad, State Veterinarian with VDAX. I anticipate it probably would take some time to develop that form.
And would we be looking at January 1, Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, of 24
Delegate Orr.
or July 1 of 24?
I think either could work, but I think by January 1, 2024, we should be able to have that in place.
Mr. Chairman?
Delegate Orr.
I'd propose then a further amendment of an enactment clause that the provisions of this act will become effective January 1, 2024.
All right, so there's been a motion and a second
I
to
would consider that a
change the
friendly
language
amendment.
to
Thank you.
January 1. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Amendment is adopted. All right, are there any other questions for the patron? All right, hearing none, we'll begin testimony. All those in favor of the legislation, please step forward. And then after in person, we will then take online if there are any. And I believe we have one person, so we'll take in person first.
Mr. Chairman, you may wish to rescind this original motion to take it back.
Well, can I shorten that? No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Sharon Quillen Adams, Virginia Alliance for Animal Shelters, and the Virginia Animal Control Association. We're in favor of this bill. This body, this committee has set the expectations of the citizens of the Commonwealth that you're going to take care of and pay attention to animals wherever we find them, when they're in commercial breeding facilities or in our research institutions. So we support this bill strongly. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chairman Weber and honorable members of the subcommittee. My name is Daphne Nakminovich, and I'm with People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, and I'm representing nearly 150,000 members and supporters. Delegate Shin gave you some of the information. I wanted to let you know that in 2021, the USDA annual report showed that 7,252 animals were used in Virginia testing facilities. This number covers only 5% of the animals actually used in facilities, because most of the animals used in laboratory experiments are not covered by the Animal Welfare Act. So we do not have the data to show how many animals are used in experiments, and what, if anything, is in place to meet the 3R principle, which is reduce, refine, and replace the use of animals, which is something that most animal testing facilities have pledged to do. And to give you some idea of the number of dollars that we spend, and this is just state funding last year for 5 public universities in the Commonwealth, EVMS, UVA, Virginia Tech, ODU, and VCU, received more than $118 million in state money, and those 5 universities combined received over $750 million in federal money. That's for research, not just animal research, but research non-animal and animal. So the tax dollars are going to facilities that use animals in experiments, and we would like to be able to know some data on the number of animals who are not covered by the Animal Welfare Act who are used. Thank you so much. Please support the bill.
Good afternoon, Chairman Weber and members of the subcommittee. My name is Alexis Amos, and I'm a senior at the University of Virginia, where I'm studying history and American studies, and where I serve as president of Animal Justice Advocates. I strongly support House Bill 2042. UVA, like most facilities involved in animal experimentation, has already made a commitment to the 3R principle, which refers to replacing, reducing, and refining the use of animals in experiments. However, despite more than 6 decades since development of the 3R principle, there is no measure of accountability to ensure what action, if any, a facility takes towards reaching this important goal. Given that universities like UVA are funded by public monies, it seems logical that we would be privy to information about where our money goes and how it is used, especially if facilities have used those monies to violate federal law. Virginia has always been a leader in animal welfare, a recognition cemented by the actions of this subcommittee and the General Assembly last year. We hope you continue to pave the way by voting yes on House Bill 2042. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee. My name is Molly Armis, and I'm the Virginia State Director for the Humane Society of the United States. I echo a lot of what was said. I just want to add that there is currently no legal requirement that non-animal test methods be used when they're available, so easily replaceable experiments using animals are allowed to continue despite the fact that there are humane, more effective alternatives. So we please ask that you report the bill favorably. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm Hallie Hazard with the Virginia Federation of Humane Societies. For the sake of brevity, I simply wish to associate with the comments of the others in support of this legislation. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, my name is Tabitha Treelor. I'm with the Richmond SPCA, and in the sake of time, I will associate comments with those before me. We also strongly support this bill. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of this committee, my name is David Foley with the Virginia Pet Advocacy Alliance, and we appreciate the patron with working with us on this as amended, and we strongly support the bill also. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have one person, Susan. Please go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Susan Lowney for the Virginia Dog Army in support of the bill. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. So that was all in favor. Now, can we have anybody that is opposed to the legislation please come forward? Is there anybody online? All right. Delegate Shin, you have the last word.
Mr. Chairman.
Yep. Delegate Orrock.
I may have
asked for
something else.
opposed, but nobody.
No, not opposed. I have another proposed amendment. Because as I look at this, it is a little bit more than just a reporting. If you look on lines 31 through 33, this is also a mandate that they have to reduce the number of animals used in testing. And so therefore, Mr. Chairman, I propose striking lines 31 through 33.
Mr. Chair, speaking. Oh, I haven't a second.
So the motion, or do you want to speak to that proposal?
I did, but it hasn't been seconded yet. So.
Okay. So the motion is to strike lines 31 through 33. Is there a second? There's properly made and seconded.
And Mr. Chairman, speaking to the motion, if I understood the bill, it was kind of so that we never have another in vigo type operation. Yet clearly this part of it is taking it beyond that to say, and plus, we as a matter of public policy are saying we're going to do our best to eradicate any type of animal use in testing. And so we're mixing apples and oranges in a reporting document in my mind, and there's the premise behind the proposed amendment.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, could I ask, could we ask the delegate if she regard that as a friendly amendment?
Semi.
Mr. Chairman, I would say that I do consider that a friendly amendment and appreciate Delegate Orrock's input on this.
She grudgingly accepts it.
Your words, not mine, sir.
She liked it better with that.
Right. So first of all, we need to adopt the amendment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? The amendment is adopted, and lines 31 through 33 are stricken.
Motion, move to report.
Second.
Mr. Chairman, I think my request to speak button's been pushed a minute.
Oh, I apologize. Delegate Ferris.
All right. In lines 28 through 30, are we ready to start getting into people's private business expenditures and that kind of thing as far as the state is concerned in the reporting of their funds? I think this deals with public and private individuals.
Is that a question?
No, I'm just bringing that question up and talk about that part of the bill.
All right. Delegate Ferris, that is a good point. Does the patron have a response to that question?
Mr. Chairman, I would say that for those lines, there's only about 30 facilities in the Commonwealth that experiment on animals right now in facilities that would fall under this bill. 17 of them are public institutions, and I would say that we already are all up in their business on how they spend their money. So all in, I think the outcome is not particularly significant.
Delegate Runyon. Oh, sorry, I apologize. I need to, hold on. There, now I can see it better.
Thank you. That begs the question of the patron. So there is 30 facilities, 17 which are public. You said a portion of these were already covered under existing regulations, whether they be federal or other state regulations?
It would be under, Mr. Chairman, I would say that they are covered under federal regulations if the animals that they're experimenting on are the ones that are listed in the federal regulation. I believe it's the Animal Welfare Act. And what I think the case we're making is that there are a number of animals that are being experimented on in Virginia that do not fall under the coverage of that act. So we have no idea or data or reporting requirements on what count of those animals are here in the Commonwealth.
Delegate Runyon.
So I'll ask of the delegate of the patron. So those animals that are covered, which animals would they be?
Sure. The Animal Welfare Act only covers dogs, cats, rabbits, guinea pigs, hamsters, gerbils, non-human primates, marine mammals, captive wildlife, and domestic livestock.
Okay. And so then what I'm sorry, could you repeat that last item?
Sure, it's domestic livestock.
And then, so those are all covered.
Correct.
What animals are not covered but this bill would cover all animals in the Commonwealth, right? Including those that are already covered under the federal regulations, which are they not the predominant number of animals in experimentation?
Mr. Chairman,
or research, I'm sorry, use the right word.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask if it would be appropriate for me to call or phone a friend in to answer that question with technical details.
Thank you.
Delegate Runyon, I'm sorry, just to answer your question, those animals covered by the Animal Welfare Act represent roughly 5% of the animals experimented on, actually.
The number of animals?
About 5%.
Okay.
Because the animals most commonly used in experiments are not covered by the Animal Welfare Act.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, question of the speaker. So what animals are the 95%?
Mice, rats, birds, cold-blooded animals, some horses. Do you have the list? Okay.
I would think horses would be covered under livestock.
Some are, some aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, another question.
Delegate Ferris.
Mr. Chairman, as she stated that livestock will be a part of this with the testing facility, so with my farm where I'm keeping records on my animals and the growth and their mobility rate, would that become a research agricultural operations? She said use.
So, Mr.
Specifically excludes agricultural operations, but it does then borrow it that it has livestock included in.
Huh?
Beef testations. Keeping you up that favor.
Mr. Chairman.
Now, because, all right. First, Delegate Orrock has, all right, hold on. Right now, I didn't hear it, but evidently there is a motion to report. It looks like there's a lot more questions though, and possibly further comment. I will say this real quick. There's another reporting bill too, mine. And it looks like we are going to have a bipartisan effort for some reporting. So I would like, if we can, committee, if we can get this in the right posture, because I know Delegate Orrock has some other things to do, and Delegate Goditis is on the board as well. So if we can, Delegate Orrock, I believe you said you have another question, or sorry, do we have to remove that?
Well, Mr. Chairman, when we get to I'm going to propose an amendment further so that we think are in the proper posture, but after which I'm going to suggest we may also then want to defer final action until we've heard the other alternative measure, because one of the two is going to go out, I suspect, but obviously not both, because we don't send out conflicting. But to the question that Delegate Ferris raised, I think here again, kind of going back, what was the original intent? And we are getting into private entity financing, I understand from the public perspective. But I'm going to propose further striking lines 28 through 30 of the substitute. And I so move.
All right, that motion to amend the bill further has been made and seconded.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Delegate Goditis, speaking to the motion?
Speaking to the motion,
Absolutely, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask the committee if it is not true that funding is a vital part of reporting, and that would help the powers that be to track what the use is and what the funding needs are, and if those numbers are going down or going up, that could be significant in terms of understanding the future use of animal testing.
Thank you, Delegate Goditis. All right, so right now we have a motion to further amend the bill. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all those against?
No.
Okay. The ayes have it. The bill is further amended.
Mr. Chair.
All right. Delegate Helmer.
Mr. Chair, just thinking about that and hearing the delegates' concerns about the funding provisions, for at least the government entities engaged in this, I wonder if having that public view of funding would make sense. I believe that it is reasonable to have struck it based on the discussion of private entities, but for public entities, as we try to understand our posture in the Commonwealth, I wondered if we might, now having stricken that portion, consider amending that to solely include public entities. I'm not going to make so I would move to amend it so that we would add a line that says for public entities. That line, I don't know what lines we are anymore because we've done a lot of deleting and adding, but what was once line 27 at the end there, we add a new paragraph substantively like what was there, but only for public entities or publicly funded entities. Just second.
Mr. Chairman, discussion on the proposed amendment.
Delegate Orrock.
And maybe someone from Virginia Tech could come and address this, because if I understand what that would mean, if you're wanting to kind of use the existing language but take out, say, such facilities or manufacturing and put in just public facilities, but you're still asking them as Virginia Tech that has animal research, how much of your total Virginia Tech multi-million-dollar budget is spent on animal research? And you've got to quantify that out, separate it out, and my broader question then as into what purpose? What is that going to tell you about when you're getting the number of animals they're using in testing and where they're getting them from? I guess to me it begs the question, what's it going to tell us that's going to result in making sure that animals are treated humanely and only testing goes on that needs to be done?
Mr. Chairman, may I answer the question? Delegate Orrock, what it would tell us is if the entity is making an effort towards complying with its own commitment to the 3 R's principle of reducing, refining, and replacing animals in testing, that money in question is public money. And so that's part of the answers. There is an effort by the federal government as well. The FDA just got a $5 billion budget this year with the FDA Modernization Act to come up with non-animal methods, and that's really the purpose of that.
Delegate Ferris, you're on the board. Do you have a question?
Yes, sir.
Delegate Ferris, you have the floor.
Well, what the question is, what is defined in 3.2-300?
Well, what's before us is a proposed amendment.
Okay, but I'm ahead of my question.
Yeah, the amendments are before us. Right, all those in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
All those against? No. All right, the amendment fails. All right, if we can, we have a couple of aspects of Delegate Shin's bill that are a little different than my proposed piece of legislation, and then we can probably have a discussion as to the merits of both. If Delegate Shin is amenable to that. Okay. I'll present my bill, which is a little bit different in regards to what it does, if that's all right with the committee. So, Delegate Shin, I guess let me give mine real quick, and then we can go from there, if you all will indulge me. So my bill is similar in nature to the amended version of Delegate Shin's bill. However, mine does not include private facilities. Sorry, let me move the substitute. I have a substitute to the original bill.
All right, I'll move the substitute.
Substitute's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right. So the original bill was much broader and bigger and involved quite a bit of controversy overall. And so what ended up coming out of the numerous discussions and visits. I'm sure Delegate Shin probably had some of the same numerous visits in regards to her piece of legislation as well. And so what has come out, at least with what we were able to do and what the bill does, is that as the substitute, is that as a public facility or institution that gets public dollars, with the exception of any animal. It's basically the crux of the bill is in line 25. Any animal testing facility shall, within 30 days of receiving an inspection report, such inspection report publicly available, and any other incident by displaying at least a link and information on their homepage, landing page, etc. So basically, if an institution of higher learning receives a citation too, they will immediately notify the leadership of that institution. And the goal of the legislation, I guess everybody here has the same goal, correct? I mean, we're trying to prevent what we had to deal with last year. And this was a step after taking numerous meetings to make public so that the universities, et cetera, would at least, folks would be aware, the president would be aware, and that's what the bill does. It's much different than what it began. So,
Mr. Chairman, would you like for me to proceed?
You can wordsmith mine as well.
Well, that
Dr.
too.
Laura.
But I didn't know if you want me to chair the meeting now here.
Yes, actually, yes. So here,
But
gavel.
towards that end,
Yours.
Mr. Chairman, I was going to propose an amendment on line 15 of your
I apologize.
substitute, after the word any, insert privately owned veterinary clinic or comma. We don't need that?
Oh yeah, I take care of that at the end.
Okay, never mind. Artie, you've heard the bill presented. You've heard the bill presented. Any questions from committee members on the measure? Substitute before us.
Mr. Chairman.
Delegate Ferris.
Again, can somebody tell me what 3.2-300 says in the code?
That's the definition of an agricultural operation.
Yeah, of a farm.
So.
Yes, question.
So, Mr.
Thank you.
Chair, does this then cover only the federally regulated animals, so mice and rats would not be covered?
Delegate Weber.
What this bill does is any USDA citation that they get, so anything that's covered by the USDA when they're doing their inspections, if they get a citation, then that is to be put forward made public on the website, and then leadership of that institution is immediately notified. So anything that's covered under the USDA definition is there. Does that answer the question?
Further questions?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Delegate Runyon.
So, of the patron, the things that are reported, there are minor violations and maybe intermediate violations and major violations. Is there any distinction, or all violations occurred? I had one research organization tell me that they were faulted by USDA inspection because they had a panel participant or a board participant that could not participate because they had COVID and they didn't have an opportunity to, and so they got dinged for that, and that becomes a USDA. Another one had a chipped paint, and so I'm just curious what the severity or the type of penalties that may be offered. I'm sorry, the type of violations may be offered, and then the penalties relating to that.
Yes, I would simply tell the delegate that the incident report, and when you look at the piece of legislation, it's the inspection report, and that inspection report, there'll be a link to that inspection report. So the severity of the severity of the issue will be made public too. So whether it's a string of paperwork or if it's something more serious.
Further questions from the subcommittee? If not, we will move into public testimony. I will say, given the way things are moving this evening, we're going to limit total support time to 5 minutes and total time for opposition to 5 minutes, no matter how many presenters might be ready to speak in the queue. So towards that end, once you've heard a general presentation, either in support or opposition, please don't parrot those same remarks. Just identify who you are and who you represent and that you agree with said position. So that being said, those in support of House Bill 2348, please come to the podium, and we'll try and reserve a little bit of time at the end for those on the internet.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Sharon Adams, I'm representing the Virginia Alliance for Animal Shelters and the Virginia Animal Control Association. I want to commend the delegate, the patron, very much for his hard work on this bill and his effort. We appreciate it. In terms of violations, they are on the inspection report identified as critical or non-critical violations. A non-critical violation, I would be surprised to see one, like you said, Mr. Runyon, but they would be identified as such. I just will remind you that public shelters also are inspected, also have their inspection reports publicly available. So this would not be treating research facilities or universities any different than we're treating our public shelters. We support the bill.
Thank you. Further speakers in support.
Good afternoon, Daphne with PETA, and further to what Sharon said, Delegate Runyon, this essentially would be posting the inspection report, which is already public record, available through the USDA, but not that easy to find. This would just make the inspection reports more accessible to the public even if there were no violations. Thank you.
Molly Armis, I'm the Virginia State Director for the Humane Society of the United States. We just really want to thank Delegate Weber for bringing forward this bill. We think that transparency is always better, and so we encourage you to report the bill favorably. Thank you.
Thank you.
Holly Hazard with the Virginia Federation of Humane Societies. We are in strong support of this legislation.
Tabitha Treelor with the Richmond SPCA. We're a private shelter that also is inspected by the state veterinarian, and we are grateful to the Delegate Weber for bringing this legislation and hope that you will support it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Alexis Amos with Animal Justice Advocates at UVA. I'd like to thank Delegate Webert for introducing the bill. And I also appreciate the subcommittee's efforts last year to end the cruelties at Envigo. But as we saw with Envigo, USDA inspections don't translate into animal welfare, and facilities should face some measure of accountability and meaningful consequences. I'm relieved to know that UVA hasn't had any critical violations of the Animal Welfare Act in recent years, and hope that this bill would serve as incentive for all facilities to comply with the Federal Animal Welfare Act. Please vote yes on the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Others in support. We've got about a half minute left. We have Ms. Loam online, I believe.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Susan Lamy for Virginia Dog Army. Appreciate the committee's efforts to help make Virginia a model for good animal research and testing. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for participation and brevity. Others to be heard in support. Are those in the room to be heard in opposition to House Bill 2348? So please come forward. Committee members, what is your pleasure?
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Delegate Ferris first, and then Delegate Deitis.
I want to make a comment. I think all of us in this room, I hope we are here for the betterment of the health of animals. And both of these pieces of legislation appear to me to be putting a strain on our universities to know in betterment for the animals. I can tell y'all that I have two sons that have been, one son, one's adopted. I claim him, he don't claim me sometimes. And they are both so much better off from their time spent at Virginia Tech and their agricultural center. The animals in our community, not just my place and my dad's place, are better off because of the knowledge that they've gained. And these agricultural institutions are not money makers for these universities. And I just feel like we're trying to put things on them that are truly not doing what we intend to do, is to educate these young people and make things better and find them. You know, some of these rascal little animals are hard to hold. I mean, they just jump out of your hands and go places, and I hope that all of that kind of stuff is certainly trying to be prevented. With that said, I'll have a motion at the proper time.
All right, Delegate Deitis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I would like to say something about comparing these two bills, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
It seems to me that they can coexist beautifully. It seems to me that Delegate Shin's bill talks to a certain level of reporting and a way to really track this into the future and see how we're doing with this issue. And it seems to me that Delegate Webert's bill has more to do with the inspection report, which may not contain the level of detail as laid out in Delegate Shin's bill. So, Mr. Chairman, I move that I would move to report both.
I would say that's a motion that's out of order because given that they are driven to the same code section and have different provisions, they would be in conflict. And therefore, the practice is not to send out conflicting measures. We need to determine on the policy and whether it's further amending one or the other to bring in the provisions you propose. But unfortunately, I understand the spirit of what you're trying to get at is basically to throw them both out there and maybe something will stick or we'll get a substitute that combines them, but that's kind of not where we are.
Mr. Chair.
I think the issue before the committee at this juncture is determining action on either one or the other. And definitive action on one would put us in a posture of potentially taking up the other if that failed. If one passes, then I think that makes action on the other one moot.
Mr. Chair, parliamentary inquiry.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, on Delegate Shin's bill, our posture when I believe we had a motion to report that had been properly seconded that hasn't been acted on.
And I think to your point, we did defer action on that, so I would concur. Before we act on it, would it be appropriate, do you think, for each of the two patrons to again kind of wrap up, speak if they care to? That may influence our decision on which of the two, if either, we support.
Mr. Chair, we have the pleasure of the chair, Mr. Chair.
Delegate Webert, would you care to Delegate Shin go first since yours is given before us, and if it passes, we'll give Delegate Webert the chance on his if he wishes. That'd probably be the best. Delegate Shin, any final remarks before we act on the motion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Pending to report.
I would be happy to absorb the elements of Delegate Webert's bill into mine if that is the will of the committee. I'm certainly happy to do that. Thank you.
Committee members, the motion before us is to report Delegate Shin's bill as we've amended it here this evening.
Substitute motion.
Delegate Ferris.
To gently lay on the table this bill for another time.
Motion is made to lay on the table. It's been properly seconded. Non-debatable motion. Members, record your vote on the board on the motion to lay House Bill 2042 on the table.
Mr. Chairman.
Parliamentary inquiry?
Yes, my screen shows Delegate Webert's bill.
That's a good point. That's a good catch, Rasmus. Yeah. We will destroy the roll.
Man, that was quick.
You're getting ahead of me, Tony.
Almost I know.
All right.
Just reading your mind, Delegate first.
I want to do yours for us first, so it didn't show.
All right. Now, members of the board, is properly before you. Correct. Record your vote on the motion to lay on the table House Bill 2042. Have all members voted who care to be recorded? The bill is laid on the table on a vote of 5-4. The measure before us now is House Bill 2348. What is your pleasure?
Mr. Chair.
I have my request to speak.
Okay. I see it now.
Okay. I guess comparing Mr. Chair, speaking to Delegate Webert's bill, I feel like this is important information that the public really wants to know about. So I think putting the information out is important. I don't think it's that difficult to put on a website any compliance with federal law. I don't think it's a problem. And the way that I've been comparing the bills is thinking, could a grad student do this? Could a PhD at Virginia Tech do this? And I definitely think they could do this bill. I think they also could have done most of Delegate Shin's bill, except for the last part where they actually had to do some percentage of funds spent by the university. That might have been a little bit difficult for a grad student, but I do think that we're headed in the right direction, and move to report this bill, and then I'd also like to see this concept continued maybe to next year so that we can also work on Delegate Shin's bill.
Parliamentary inquiry.
Parliamentary inquiry.
Can you speak to a bill and then?
No, but we do it all the time.
We'll let it slide.
So do I hear a second to the motion to report 2348? And I properly heard a second. Yes.
Well, I was seconded and doing it all the time.
As substitute, Delegate Ferris.
I have a substitute motion that I won't speak to. Gently move, gently lay this bill on the table, please.
Is there a second to the motion to lay on the table? Moved properly seconded to lay House Bill 2348 on the table. Non-debatable, members record your vote on the board on the motion to lay on the table.
Is this the right bill, Tony?
Hold on, I'm not tabling my own.
Motion to lay on the table fails by a vote of 4-6, which takes us back to the previous motion, that being the motion to recommend reporting. And
Yeah, I'm not tabling my own.
we see a fiscal impact has appeared. Poof. So,
Is that the old bill?
Chair substitute
So-
motion. I move to.
so I think candidly we're in the same posture as it may have been on the bill earlier, that if between now and Wednesday the appropriations sting goes away, we could actually retract that piece. But now if the motion is to recommend reporting and referring to appropriations as amended, House Bill 2348. Discussion on that motion. Hearing none, members record your vote on the board on the motion to report and refer to appropriations as amended 2348.
Make me visit the hot seat.
That motion passes on a vote of 6-4. Thank you, and I gladly turn the gavel back over to you. Delegate Campbell was here, and then Delegate Court.
Well, hold on. We also have some housekeeping on the other Delegate Campbell. HB 1548. Delegate Campbell asked that go by for the day as well. All right, there's been a motion to take 1548 by for the day and properly seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, that's by for the day. Done Bobby's. All right. Delegate Campbell, you have the floor. Oh, hold on. What is this?
I didn't do it.
You did that. It's not going away either. It's like some pop-up thing. Sorry.
That's all
Give me a second real quick. All right. Is this over? This is starting over, isn't it? Yes. Okay. All right. Delegate Campbell.
Thank
Do you
you,
have
Mr.
any
Chairman.
amendments or anything to your bill?
No, I do not.
Okay. Present your bill, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee. House Bill 2331 is aimed to amend the Code of Virginia in relation to animal care, seizure of animals, and zoos. This bill establishes a definition of zoo, meaning a facility or establishment, including petting zoos, that is licensed by the United States Department of Agriculture and the Department of Wildlife and Resources, and houses animals and exhibits them to the public. It also amends language in the bill to remove agricultural animals and leave the language as just animal to include zoo animals. This is important due to the fact that currently zoos are not defined, even though we have thousands of animals exhibited throughout the Commonwealth. This bill acknowledges the role of zoos throughout the Commonwealth and indicates that owners are licensed again through the Department of Wildlife Resources and the United States Department of Agriculture.
All right. Thank you. And for the record, we heard this bill last year in this committee. All right, so let's begin with any questions from the committee regarding the piece of legislation. Are there any questions for the patron? Okie dokie. All right, let's take testimony. All those in favor of the piece of legislation, if they would come forward, that'd be great, and then we'll go from there. Is there anybody online? Are they for or against? Is she for? Okay.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. My name is Heidi Krosky, and I'm representing the Virginia Animal Owners Alliance. We want to thank Delegate Campbell for patroning this bill, and it's good for zoo animals. It's also good for zoo owners, and we hope that you will support it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lara Burchett Watson. I'm a private citizen in support of this bill. Thank you.
I do have one for. All right. Going to the online testimony. 4 is Carl Mogensen. Is he on there? Are we on?
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead, please.
Go ahead, Carl. Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, I'm Carl Mogensen from the Natural Bridge Zoo. I definitely support this billing, this delegates thing. We have been under scrutiny by the animal law unit and everything else. We need some protection. They have gone in and confiscated animals when the people that were doing the confiscating had little or no knowledge of the animals. I think it's very important that any confiscation or anticipated confiscation has to go through our state veterinarian, so we have some degree of complacency there. I support the bill very strongly.
All right. That was everybody that is for the piece of legislation. Now let's take testimony of those that oppose the legislation. If you could come forward in person, and then I believe there's somebody online as well that is in opposition.
Sharon Adams, the Virginia Alliance for Animal Shelters, and representing the Virginia Animal Control Association. We are strongly opposed to this bill. Let me be very clear. The communication between animal control officers and the VDECs or their Commonwealth attorney or anybody else is ongoing, is by choice, and is used. But let's understand what we're talking about here. Who is, you always want to know what the purpose of a bill is. 2012, Megan Mogensen was convicted of animal cruelty for drowning a wallaby in a bucket because it had an eye problem. 2019, Mr. Wilson had 119 animals seized under the auspices of veterinarians. He was charged, along with his nephew, with 49 counts of animal cruelty. He pled guilty to 27 of them. This year, Doc Antle is being charged with wildlife sales and a violation of the Endangered Species Act for selling tiger cubs to zoo operators in Virginia. So that's who we're talking about. The protections that might be afforded to them by this bill, in my view, are irrelevant and non-existent. And we strongly oppose the bill. I could say more, but I won't.
All right, thank you. Looks like you got about 4 minutes total time for the rest of the opponents.
She says she Holly Hazard with the Virginia Federation of Humane Societies. We strongly oppose the bill. We strongly oppose this bill. It is largely in response to some cruelty charges that were successfully prosecuted in Virginia against a roadside zoo. We had laws on the books to protect these animals. The laws worked. Someone was convicted of cruelty. 100 animals were seized. Several animals died. Our laws are working, and there's no reason to change them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Tabitha Treelor with the Richmond SPCA, and I also join the others in asking you to oppose HB 2331. And while I'm sure the delegate is well intended, as others stated, this bill is a result of a successful and rightful prosecution. Recategorizing animals in this way has the effect of reducing protections, and exotic animals currently rightfully fall under companion animal that affords a minimum of food, water, and vet care above the standards given to agricultural animals. And they need more protections, not less, and we respectfully ask you to oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the subcommittee, Susan Seward with the Virginia Veterinary Medical Association. We too oppose this legislation, and I would like to say in previous hearings of this bill, while the state vet's office may not have the expertise in exotic or zoo animals, our association does. We have offered that assistance to both animal control statewide and the state vet's office. We really should not diminish the standards for zoo animals. They don't fit with ag animals, and we need to ensure their protection. We're happy to contribute to that end. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'll affiliate myself. I'm Daphne with PETA. I'll affiliate myself with my colleagues' comments and add that the Virginia Animal Owners Alliance sued the Attorney General's office twice over this issue. Both lawsuits were dismissed. The judge said it was a colossal waste of time. And so the part of some of the people associated with that lawsuit, at least 3 of them, had pled guilty or had been convicted of cruelty to animals. We oppose this bill, and we hope you will too. Thank you.
Molly Armis, I'm the Virginia State Director for the Humane Society of the United States. I affiliate my comments with everything that's previously been said. We trust our law enforcement to do the right thing, and we ask that you oppose this bill. Thank you.
All right, we'll go to online testimony. Which one? Okay. So we'll do, is it Susan? All right, Susan, go ahead real quick.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Susan Lamy, Virginia Dog Army, in opposition to the bill. This is disguised as an animal care bill, but it makes it more difficult to protect animals. The passage of this bill would work against our own protection agencies. Both the USDA and VACA have been involved in the citations of these individuals. We need this protection to continue. Thank you.
All right. We do have one that is for the piece of legislation. Laura. Oh, wait, we'll get testimony.
Thank you, sir. We are in support of this bill. I feel that there needs to be additional layers of protection, that sometimes people get either overzealous or they're not totally qualified. And to be fair to both the animals as well as the animal owners, having that extra layer of qualified evaluation is prudent. And thank you very much for your consideration. We do support this.
All right, thank you. Delegate Campbell, you have the last word.
Thank you. So I would just like to say that this piece of legislation doesn't do anything to diminish the ability to do inspections on animals when they're in danger. As a matter of fact, if you refer to, well, let's see. Sorry, I'm flipping around here. I can't find it. At any rate, all this really does is it adds one extra layer here. You can, an animal, if you feel that an animal needs to be protected, you still can go and investigate. It doesn't change that at all. The only part of the process that changes, is that it adds that you just need to report that information to the Virginia State Veterinarian within 5 business days. That's it. It doesn't do anything to diminish the ability to protect our animals, and I think that's what we all want to do. If the goal is to protect our animals, then having that extra layer of protection and making sure that the report gets to a veterinarian before an animal is euthanized, I think that's pretty important. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Delegate Campbell. All right, this committee operates by motion.
Second.
There's been a motion made to report and seconded. Would the committee please record their vote on the voting board? I need more coffee. Yeah. All right. HB 2331, report 6-4.
Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Campbell. Delegate Corey, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'll wait a minute. This is fine. It's nice to see all of you smiling at each other. So, Mr. Mr. Chairman, I have a piece of housekeeping. I guess the message didn't make it to you. I apologize. I would like to strike HB 1984.
Oh, yes, I apologize. Well, if we can, or we can just take it by for the day. And then that way we don't have to bring it up into committee. Which would you prefer?
Whichever is fine.
Okay, is there a motion to take it by for the day? All right. Well, those in favor say aye. Bye for the day. All right, Delegate Corey, so I believe you are going to do the other elephant bill that we
It's
have before
not
us.
an elephant bill.
I call it the elephant bill.
Yes, I am.
So HB 2483 then?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Excellent. Delegate Corey, you have the floor.
Thank you. And I spoke too quickly. It is an elephant bill. So, HB 2483 simply includes elephants in the definition of dangerous captive animals. There is extensive research about elephants injuring and killing people, mostly zookeepers, but sometimes members of the public. And I believe it is important as a public safety measure to include elephants in the list of animals who are dangerous captive animals. I'm happy to cite some of the research if you would like. There have been a number of injuries and deaths reported over the past about 5 years. And they're all across the states, not just one state, but many. So I think it's only fair that we protect the public in that way.
All right, thank you. Delegate Corey, I believe there is a substitute for your piece of legislation, too.
You are correct. There is a substitute. I apologize.
All right, there's been a motion to adopt the substitute. Is there a second? All right, there's been property motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Okay. Now, the substitute...
we have adopted the substitute. Delegate Corey.
Thank you. The substitute does what I just described, and
Okay.
it takes out the other language that was in the bill talking about the ways that elephants are trained.
Okay. All right. Are there any questions from the committee? All right. Hearing none, let's begin public testimony. All those in favor of the piece of legislation, please come forward and testify. And brevity is welcomed.
I'm Susan Smith. I'm a resident of Fauquier County, and I'm also a member of a group called Free All Captive Elephants. And I have one thing to be quick about this, to say about this bill, which is the Federal Animal Welfare Act recognizes animals as dangerous animals. Per USDA APHIS Code of Regulations, handling of animals during public exhibition, dangerous animals such as lions, tigers, wolves, bears, or elephants must be under the direct control and supervision of a knowledgeable and experienced animal handler. So, thank you very much. Thank you, Delegate Corey.
Holly Hazard with the Virginia Federation of Humane Societies. We strongly support this legislation.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Next.
Molly Armis, I'm the Virginia State Director for the Humane Society of the United States. Professionals who work with elephants recognize the dangers that they pose. The USDA warns its inspectors that all elephants should be considered dangerous and to never get between the owner or the trainer and the elephant. No zoo that is accredited by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums has offered elephant rides since 2011. This doesn't impact possession. This doesn't impact displaying elephants at zoos. It merely says that the public shall not come into contact with them. So we encourage you to support the bill. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Sharon Adams, Virginia Animal
who am I with? Alliance for Animal Shelters, Virginia Animal Control Association. We support the bill. I received a phone call last night from a person who's had 40 years of experience with accredited zoos, and she advised me that the AZA is very much in support of the elements of this bill. So Virginia would be in concert with the accreditation agency for zoos. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Daphne with PETA, and we support the bill. Thank you.
On behalf of the Richmond SPCA, we also support the bill.
Good afternoon, Susan Seward with the Virginia Veterinary Medical Association, and primarily for the reason this does bring us in line with the AZA accreditation standards, which VVMA supports.
Question, Susan. Yeah. So the substitute puts us in line, correct?
Yes, in speaking with our exotic animal expert last night, the way she interpreted the bill, and I don't. What is the line amendment on this?
Literally just inserts elephant into the dangerous animal.
Yes,
section.
and that is absolutely in line with AZA recommendations regarding elephants. Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, we have one person online. Miss Susan?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, the Virginia Dog Army asked me to support this bill. They love elephants too.
Excellent, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can somebody tell me what a clouded
It's not there anymore.
doesn't include a clouded leopard?
I'm sorry.
No, on line 13.
What is a clouded leopard?
It's a smaller cat.
It's a smaller cat?
A much smaller cat, yeah. Yeah, it sounds like we have a new bill. All right, so all those against the legislation, if there's anybody here to speak against the legislation, please come forward in person. And then I believe we have 3 folks online that are against it.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, my name is Heidi Krosky, and I'm representing the Virginia Animal Owners Alliance. I would like to remind the committee that this topic of the dangerous definition was actually handled in 2020, and the word elephant was removed for many reasons in 2020. So we just would ask that you would please remember that and please oppose this bill. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, excuse my lack of decorum. I'm a hillbilly from Missouri. This is about me. My name is Mark Easley, or Mark Edward, as Grandma used to holler at lunchtime. I work at the Natural Bridge Zoo. I'm going to try to be very brief in my qualifications. This month will be my 40th year of handling elephants, although an old man put a shovel in my hand about 12 years before that. So I've spent a lot of time beside them, in front of them, and a lot more behind them. A few of my qualifications: I trained the first male elephant in the world to stand without sedation for semen collection. We developed the estrus cycle on the Asian female and therefore became only the 5th zoo in the Western Hemisphere to breed the Asian elephant. 18 years later, we finally put on the ground the first artificially inseminated elephant. Eventually, I was recruited to go to the St. Louis Zoo. Depending on who you listen to, consistently ranked as one of the top 10 zoos in the world. I was their elephant manager over and over. I was the 3rd and last show trainer in the history of that zoo. We went from circus training to education to where we eventually eliminated it. Because in approximately the early 90s, I think it's around 93, Alan Rucroft at the San Diego Wild Animal Park developed the technique now that the AZA uses called protective contact. He used a male and a female of both species. I trained the first elephant after those 4. Our zoo became the 3rd zoo in the world to go to protective contact. I've done them both. While at that zoo, the food product that is now standard issue for about 95% of the elephants in this hemisphere, I helped develop through Purina and their subsidiary, Missouri. I could go on and on. I put calves on the ground in about 7 barns in 4 states of both species. I would like these people to explain the difference between classical and operant conditioning. I've been trained in both. As far as the use of elephant hooks, I still see that up there. That's no different than a leash on a dog. Cars are misused. People drive those into crowds. They use forceps to destroy the unborn. That's not what those tools were meant for.
Sir,
And neither.
Sir, if I may, I'm going to, if you could speak to the substitute, what the substitute does is it eliminates all of the stuff that you just discussed. In
Oh, I'm
handling the
sorry. I
elephant,
apologize.
And what it does, yeah, no, it's all right. It's not in front of you. And then what it does is it basically says that there can be no direct contact with the animal, and there must be a barrier. So we're speaking to that portion of the legislation.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I am the last zoo-owned elephant ride in the Western Hemisphere. I am Josie Wales. I'm the last of the holdouts.
All right, so people can ride your elephant.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
She's the second best ride elephant I've ever had, the best African.
So that's how that's
the ultimate goal.
So this would eliminate.
This is the statue they want to tear down.
You being able to offer a ride.
Yes,
correct?
sir.
All right.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
And as far as dangerous animals, it all depends on the scenario. Does anybody know what animal kills the most humans in the United States? No, sir. It's cows. Number 2 is our best friend that hangs its head out the door. So it all depends on it all depends on the scenario in which they're placed. This March I'll have been with this elephant for 15 years. My alarm goes off at 4:30 every morning, 365 days a year. I've never made more than $30,000 in my life. I don't make that now.
All right.
The last time the light is turned
Thank you,
off
sir.
is at midnight. Yes, sir, I understand. But that's what this is. This is the last statue in the elephant world.
A question for the patron. I mean, for
I'll
the
give
speaker.
Ferris just real
Speaker,
quick
excuse
because
me.
we've got other folks that want to testify too, so we'd like to give them the ability to do so.
Yes, sir. Elephants like cows. Can you tell a gentle, good one from a mean, rough one, and with a little time spent? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
And this is what she's known since she was 40 inches tall.
I understand,
400
sir.
pounds.
I
Thank you for
understand.
your time.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Sorry, I'm out of line.
You're good. Next up.
Lara Burchett Watson, I have known the one elephant that this bill affects, and that's what I want to bring forward. This isn't a huge number of elephants we're talking about. There's one in the state of Virginia that this affects. And that one was, as he said, brought in as a baby, orphaned. And she knows nothing but people. They've tried introducing her to other elephants. To take away her human contact with people, with the general public, doing the rides is not a punishment to her. It is something it gives her a job. It gives her a purpose. It is stimulation for her. It is so positive for her to have the opportunity to do this. She's not forced to do it at all. And so, like I said, I've known this elephant 24 years. She's been an incredible ambassador for the species. She has sparked a love and a passion in so many people for this species. And if you take this opportunity, as he said, the very last opportunity for people in the Western Hemisphere to get this close and personal with these elephants, you are doing a great disservice to each and every one of those people. You're taking something. My kids, they are passionate about elephants because of this elephant.
All right.
So thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much. All right, we've got I believe we still have 3 folks that are against the piece of legislation.
Yeah.
And we'll take them in the queue. And if y'all don't mind, please keep it short.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to clarify one thing.
Yes, ma'am.
This bill is not retroactive. It is not necessarily aimed at any one particular elephant that is already in Virginia.
Okay. We're the only elephant. Hold on. We will keep this decorum here. All right. We will take online testimony really quick, and that will be. Is it Carl? Was that Carl? That was Carl. All right. Carl is online. Carl, if you could, you have 1 minute, please. Is he on? Yep. Here you go. There you go, sir.
I am Carl Mogensen, owner of the elephant in question, Asha. Asha came to us as an orphaned infant, a little over a foot tall or 3 feet tall. All her training has been with kindness in the reward system. Are all elephants safe as she? No, she's an exceptionally nice elephant. She's had the best of care, has never hurt anyone or has endangered anyone. The idea that cattle and dogs are far more dangerous than this elephant. This stuff and this whole deal coming up is a misconception launched by the animal rights groups to try and discredit our elephant and our situation here.
All right, thank you, Carl.
She meets a lot of she meets a lot of people, and is a tremendous ambassador for young children to learn more about animals. TV and different things are partially educational, but there's nothing like a walk-in and a talk-in with the elephant, letting them feel the end of the trunk as they give them an apple.
Thank you,
These stimulate real. Okay.
All right. Next is Murray Lauren. Lauren, Murray, sorry, it's backwards on my paper.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm opposing this bill. I have over 20 years experience working hands-on in free contact with elephants. I'm just going to parrot what you've heard from everybody else. The people that are putting this bill forward have no experience working hands-on with elephants. And I find it very detrimental for the future of elephants and their well-being if these are the people passing the bills, the ones that haven't even ever touched or felt what an elephant feels like. It's also detrimental to the elephant well-being when they are so used to being interacted with. It's going to be mentally scarring for them to not ever be able to have that again. Like that one elephant is in isolation. She will be in isolation from everybody if this bill passes. And I think that it's only going to affect her. Everybody in this court gets to go home, gets to do their thing, but she doesn't deserve this.
Thank you. Next up is Laura Steer. Is she done? Laura, can you please unmute yourself?
Maybe. There we go. Thank you. We stand against 2483. We do not believe that it is necessary and that it's more of a targeted campaign and that it was addressed 3 years ago. We have known Natural Bridge Zoo, their owners, and Asha the animal for 15 years. Their care and their handling of Asha has always been in her best interest, provided with optimal care and treated with respect. Asha has literally touched the hearts of thousands and thousands of individuals who in turn then develop a greater love and appreciation for pachyderms. This in turn creates an interest in conservation and preservation for that species. Asha and Natural Bridge are ambassadors for these wonderful animals, and there are more than enough laws already in place for protection without adding redundant and more restrictive language, and we do request that you defeat this bill. And I do agree that as far as animals that kill and injure humans, dogs, and livestock rate higher than a lot of exotics. So please defeat this bill. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. All right, that completes our testimony. If I may, I'm going to speak to the bill. Well, I understand that where there is some concern in regarding various animals in which their welfare, etc., is of concern to numerous people. I will say this: I've had the fortune to be able to ride an elephant. I've had the fortune. I was pulling up a video showing it, or a picture showing it to Delegate Wright, of petting a cheetah, which you can no longer do in the Commonwealth. And that was an effort to raise money to preserve cheetahs. And it was a fundraiser, and they brought a cheetah in for everyone to pet, etc. Obviously, it was nice being invited, and they raised a considerable amount of money. And when it came to riding an elephant, I had the fortune to be able to do that. And I will say that, at least for me, it's one of those things where once you have that, it touches you almost to your soul. And it makes you want to care about that animal even further, particularly if you have an animal that is receptive. And there, across the world, there are numerous people who make their living with this. So Unfortunately, I will not be supporting your bill, Delegate Corey, because I feel that people should be able to interact in appropriate manners. And so I just wanted to share that because I've had some very, very, very positive experiences with wildlife. Thank you. Delegate Corey, you have the last word.
I wasn't sure if there were any more comments or questions from committee members. No. Okay.
No.
No, I don't have new information. I just want to repeat that this is actually about public safety as well as about animal welfare, and that the number of incidents, injuries across the country has escalated. And elephants should be in the list of dangerous captive animals as they are in the ADA. So I ask you to please report the bill.
Thank you, Delegate Corey. All right, this committee operates by motion.
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion.
Delegate Orrock.
Move to lay on the table.
The bill has been, the motion has been made to lay the bill on the table and properly seconded. All those in favor, please record your vote on the voting board. All right. Clerk will close the roll. HB 2483 is laid on the table 6-4. Thank you, Delegate Corey. Delegate Freitas, I see you lurking in the back over there. Oh, sorry. No, I believe we were going to take that by. Right. Delegate Corey, I believe 1985 was to go by as well, correct? Thank you. No, that was on my list. I just want to make sure we took care of it. More. Also, at the request of the patron, HB 2417 will go by for the day. Delegate Freitas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. First thing is I have an amendment in the nature of a substitute for HB 1802.
All right. There's an amendment in the nature of substitute. Is there a motion to adopt it? All right. There's been a motion and made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those against? The amendment in nature of substitute is adopted. Delegate Freitas, please tell us what your bill does.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. What the substitute does, so anybody that looked at this originally, what we're essentially doing, we've talked a lot about regulatory sandboxes. I like to call this an agriculture regulatory sandbox. What we're doing is we're creating kind of a narrow environment where you can engage in a diverse array of agricultural endeavors. You can sell everything from meats to vegetables, pickles, goods, etc. If you can go buy it at the store, you can buy it if it's at a farmer's market or it's at the location where it was produced, so at the farm itself. But of course, you need a waiver that provides informed consent. So the whole idea here is that if as long as you're purchasing what you're purchasing at the farmer's market directly from the producer or on the farm directly from the producer, and you have a waiver which includes the name, address, telephone number of the grower producer of such product, the common or usual name of such product, the ingredients of such product in descending order of predominance, and the following statement: this product is exempt from state licensing and inspection requirements, has not been inspected by the Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, and of course not for resale. So as long as you have that on there, you sign the waiver, and then the producer keeps that waiver for up to a year. You can legally purchase those items. Now, the whole purpose for this goes to a couple different things. One, I think it stems from the idea that there's been a lot of food insecurity, whether it's resulted from things like inflation, whether it's resulted from supply chain issues, whether it's resulted from issues with respect to FDA-approved inspection sites or processing sites. Not to mention the fact that we have a lot of people that, for a variety of reasons, some of it religious, some of it cultural, some of it because it comes to what they consider to be the ethical treatment of animals within kind of a smaller farm environment. They want the option to be able to buy as much as they possibly can that they would, again, normally get at a Safeway or a Martin's or anywhere else. They would like to be able to get that from their neighbor at a farmer's market at that location. And by allowing that to happen within this environment with fully informed consent, we're opening up a whole new area of agriculture, especially smaller agriculture, agritourism. And so that's the purpose of the bill. That's what we're trying to achieve. And I understand that there's always concerns with respect to food safety. And the idea behind the waiver, because that's even controversial in itself, the idea behind the waiver is that if you want to operate outside of the standard system, then you sign this waiver, making sure that everybody who's involved in the transaction understands what's going on. But in the end, I don't want to tell adults that they can't buy some of these products from their local farmer, especially when, for a variety of reasons, whether it be health reasons. And I know for me personally, one of my children ended up having some pretty bad food allergies. And the process of us being able to grow more of our own food, to be able to do diets that took out some of the things that were associated with processing that food. And again, I'm not trashing the processing. When we're talking about preserving, we're talking about going state lines, we're talking about all those things. A lot of that can be theoretically necessary. But in other environments, it's proven to be pretty difficult for some people. And I think this provides another mechanism for them to be able to get the agricultural products that they want and need. And that is essentially what the bill does. And I know I think we have some people sign on to testify, but I'll be happy to answer questions from the subcommittee. The one other thing that I would just point out is none of the foods here, again, not available for retail sale, but also can't cross state lines. So we're avoiding some of the federal intervention that we typically see. Be happy to take questions.
Delegate Simons, you're first up.
So I love buying things from farmers markets. I buy jam. Is jam currently required to be inspected?
So yes. So there are certain things that have to be inspected. It kind of been, so we've had a jam bill, which has actually allowed for more of that to be available. But we still have issues every year. We have pickle bills and things of that nature. So there are some preserves that you can do. A lot of it depends on the acidity content.
Okay. What about, I like to buy homemade pastas at a farmer's market. Is that current? Are they basically selling it right now when they shouldn't be selling homemade pasta? And would that be allowed under this?
It would be allowed under this legislation should it pass. And I do have some other people that deal with this very frequently. If we would like to take questions from some of the people that are testifying on behalf, that might answer some of the questions. Yeah.
Sure, we can move forward. Delegate Helmer, do you have a question for the patron? We'll do a few questions for the patron, Helmer and Goditis, and then we'll take testimony. And I've got a question.
Mr. Chair, just a question for the patron. I'm looking at line 87 of the substitute, which is around the no fees, no inspection fees or anything like that, and trying to reconcile that with the fiscal impact statement. Is that a nominal? I just truly want to know: is it a nominal impact to remove that, or is it actually a meaningful?
No, it's nominal. So I haven't received any letter to send this to appropriations. Most of these fees are generally, sorry, Mr. Chairman, most of these fees are generally associated with the cost to do the inspection and manage that program within VDAX. So if they're operating outside of that within this limited field, they wouldn't be paying the fees, but it shouldn't have impact because they're also not having to cover the various inspections and other enforcement mechanisms.
Mr. Chair, follow-up question.
Delegate Helmer.
And where can you just direct us to understand what would prevent a larger seller in this bill? Like, what would prevent a larger seller from seeking to?
That's a great question.
Take advantage of this.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I think that primarily it's the idea that the reason why the larger sellers is probably not likely to take advantage of something like this is because of economies of scale. It really doesn't make sense for them to open up their operations, which are very large, tend to be more industrial in order for people to come on there and do that. And they generally don't participate in farmers markets, and they can't operate through resale. So it makes a lot more sense for them to produce in bulk for the grocery stores in the typical ways that a lot of people buy their groceries than it would be to try to utilize this.
Have we moved the substitute? We moved it. All right, so the substitute's not available online currently. Is it online? Can you see it?
Our system's just having a couple of glitches, Mr. Chairman, so we're working on it.
More glitches? All right.
Always glitches.
All right, Delegate Goditis. Yeah, we can
Thank
pass
you,
one
Mr.
down.
Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I have a question for the patron. I love these small producers, and I'm concerned about them. Do these waivers really, really protect them if that very rare occurrence should happen and people should get desperately ill? Does it really protect the producer?
Mr. Chairman, I would say that the prime reason for the waiver is so that we can trace this back. So if you do have a situation where somebody does get sick, we're able to identify where that came from, or we're able to have a better opportunity to be able to identify it. The waiver allows them to operate with this environment. But if somebody still engages in a practice that might be negligent or whatnot, there would still theoretically be some action that the consumer could take. So the primary process of the waiver is to be able to allow this environment to take place, to make sure that there's informed consent, and we have been working with the Attorney General's office as well to try to get more specificity with respect to what coverage there would be both for to operate in the environment as well as protection for the potential producer. But again, the goal here is not to create an environment where a small producer can do anything they want, to include engage in something that might be considered negligent. I hope that answers the question.
All right, Delegate Runyon, and then we'll take testimony. And oh, okay, it was over the substitute. Okay, now let's take testimony. All those in favor, and then all those against. We're pushing late, so let's limit to the 4 for 5 minutes. So if you got like a minute and a half or whatever, however many there are, let's move forward with that. Correct? What's that? And there's nobody online? Oh, okay, even better.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name's Ann Buteau from Nelson County. Delegate Frater's bill basically builds on what's been commonly called the kitchen bill, which started off in 2008. Delegate Simmons asked if jam needs to be inspected. Well, if you're using this bill here, on line 34, this whole chapter on the current bill includes all the things that you can currently make without state inspection and sell directly from your home or at the farmer's market. The next chapter is the one that contains pickles and relishes and things like that. There's a limit on the dollar amount, which has not been raised since 2013, when pickles and relishes and acidified vegetables were put on there. So I was hoping that maybe the limit, which was Delegate Hudson's bill last week, could have been removed. That was supposed to be heard last week. It didn't happen. So in this bill, there's the paragraph all about pickles and relishes, and that could be deleted, and pickles and relishes added into the paragraph which has unlimited quantities. Since 1998, there's been no cases in the whole of the United States from pickles in private homes, and that comes from the CDC National Outbreak Reporting System. So nowhere in the US have homemade pickles made anyone sick that's been reported. As far as the rest of the bill here, there is an issue with Fourth Amendment. If you go and look on line 44, it's the last line. It says, nothing in the subdivision shall create or diminish the authority of the commissioner under 3.25102. So if you go to that section of the code, which I will go to, that is the one where it says commissioner to have access to factories, warehouses, other places, examination of samples. It says the commissioner shall have free access at all reasonable hours to any factory, warehouse, establishment where the foods are manufactured, processed, etc. And it goes on, it can be any time, it can be taking samples and stuff. So without a cause, without a complaint. This section, you don't have to have a complaint to go into the house.
Okay.
The action of someone making a complaint is addressed in another line, which is in the bill here. Thank you. Oh, okay. Okay, so it's addressed in 69, okay? Line 69. If there's a complaint, then you can go into the home. So the waiver, I like the concept of having more freedom and people acknowledging, that this stuff's uninspected. But personally, I find it a bit burdensome, and I would rather have a label on the product, like there is a label on the product now. So that's just my thought about the waiver.
All right, thank you.
I support
We'll go to the
bill.
next person, and I'll give you an extra minute, sir. Go ahead.
My name is Ann Maroney. I'm just a citizen, and I love farms, and I love our food. And I grew up in Maine, and I was just recently in New Jersey. Both of those places have better cottage food, small producer laws than we do. So I support everything that opens it up. I'd rather have just a label than a waiver, but if you guys want a waiver, I'm fine with that. Anything to make it a little better. As far as the safety goes, safety is in the eye of the person. The person who's allergic to one thing is not to that. The person who needs, special food, I need special food. I look carefully. Those people are going to look carefully. So in light of how many more people were coming into the country, we had 5 million since 2021. That's about 5% of our population. So we needed a lot more food. And some of those new people coming in might know how to grow it, and maybe they could help sell it. So I think laws like this would really help open us up better.
Excellent. Thank you. Sir, you're up.
Hello, Delegate, Chairman Weaver and delegates. My name is Dan Lefevre. I'm from Nelson County. I represent VICFA, that's Virginia Independent Consumer Farmer Association, which is a group of small producers that want to sell directly to consumers without having interference with inspection on those foods that they grow or produce. I'm basically in favor of the legislation, but I think there's some issues that need to be resolved on it. It's not clear on the waivers whether that one waiver signed would cover all the food products listed there, or you needed an individual waiver on each product. And if it was done at the farm, one waiver from basically a repeat customer, I think would not be a big issue. I'm a small producer and a farmer and producer, and I sell at a farmer's market in Nelson County. And about 25% of our trade there in the summertime is tourists. And I think a tourist coming in and wanting to do a spontaneous purchase would be probably put off by having to sign a waiver. And they would balk at that. And if you were haggling with that person in the process, you would probably lose another sale because somebody waiting in line didn't want to wait anymore. But having a label with all the information on there would more than be adequate for those sales in the farmers markets, but you could avoid the labeling at the farm by having a waiver. So that would save some time for the farmers. There's one other issue that the lines 29 to 32 basically negate the poultry and meat amendment, and that would need to be removed to allow the poultry and meat waiver to work.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Those opposed to the legislation? Kinda. And if we could make it real quick.
I will make it very quickly. Thank you.
That'd be very
my
helpful.
My name is Mike Osterling. I'm the Executive Director of Shellfish Growers of Virginia, and you probably didn't expect to see me here. We have concerns about this bill that, quite frankly, can be alleviated simply by excluding molluscan shellfish, oysters, and clams from the food products that are exempted. Oysters and clams are eaten raw a lot of the times. we are under great scrutiny for our products. If someone gets sick from eating one of our products, doesn't matter where that product came from, that is a reportable disease, which means that the doctor has to report that to the Virginia Department of Health. It then goes through an epidemiological investigation. If they determine that the source of the illness was a Virginia oyster, they shut that growing grounds down. No harvests are permitted from that area until it is deemed clean. The problem is any shellfish illness creates a media circus, and it does total damage to our industry. I would ask you not to pass the bill as it is currently written. Thank you.
All right, next, and I think since we got close to a minute on that one, we're just going to limit it to a minute, and if you don't have anything else to add, unless you have something else to add. So I appreciate it. Yeah, well, there's only 4 or 5 of them. All right, go ahead. Real quick.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Hutchinson. I'm the Executive Director of the Virginia Farmers Market Association, and we oppose this bill for 3 primary reasons: safety concerns, consumer confidence, and liability. The fundamental pillar of the Virginia Certified Farmers Market System is that food that is sold at our markets are safe for consumer consumption. Mainstream customers want safe food, and inspection services and permits are a big part of that security. Also, mainstream customers that shop at farmers markets have an inherent perception that the food that is purchased at a farmers market goes through the same rigorous testing and inspection processes as food that is sold at a grocery store. When customers find out that this is no longer the case, our concern is that they will stop shopping at a farmers market. And asking a customer to sign a waiver to purchase a product at a farmers market, especially one like Charlottesville that has 10,000 people that walk through that market on any given Saturday, is problematic. Not only do they have to be of legal age, but it is improbable that mainstream customers will sign a legal document asking, abdicating their risk in order to buy a product at a farmer's market, as well as the red flags that this waiver will raise with customers as to why they have to sign a waiver. We are worried that most customers won't sign the waiver, therefore they won't buy the product, they'll leave the market, and they probably won't shop at the market.
All right,
and,
time's up.
Okay, and liability insurance companies don't cover liability for the products.
I got you. All right, we can keep it quick. Like a good ditto is usually.
Good afternoon,
usually
Mr.
good in
Chairman,
this
members of the
regard.
subcommittee. Stephanie Talon with Virginia Farm Bureau. We appreciate the patient's intent of supporting small farmers. We share that intent and agree that we do need to build up our local food infrastructure. However, we don't believe this bill is the way to do that. It is incredibly broad and has serious food safety issues and implications for the industry overall as a whole, particularly with regards to meat and dairy. Allowing meat products to be sold without inspection does put our state meat inspection program in jeopardy with our cooperative agreement with the federal government, and that is something we do not want to see here in Virginia, and so we do oppose the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're at 29 seconds. Can anybody beat that?
My name's Sam Bartle. I'm a practicing pediatrician here in Richmond. I'm here on behalf of the American Academy of Pediatrics. We're opposed to this bill based on the raw milk consumption. The risk of the pathogens that you will get with drinking raw milk is tremendous. One of the reasons we do not see a lot of the illnesses now with these pathogens are because of the pasteurization process that milks go through. The added benefit that the consumption of raw milk can be associated with a variety of different illnesses, particularly in the immunocompromised and non-immunocompromised. The benefits of that's been attributed to raw milk have not been substantiated with evidence-based studies, and therefore we are saying we were opposed to this bill. I hope you vote against it.
All right, thank you. Next.
Mr. Chairman, Brad Copenhaver, representing the Virginia Agribusiness Council. I don't have anything to add from what the previous speaker said, but I do want to thank the patron. I know this is just an area where we disagree, so the Agribusiness Council does oppose the bill.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Eric Paulson with Virginia State Dairymen's Association. We also oppose the bill.
All right, thank you. Oh, winner.
But other than all those guys, everyone else loves it.
All right. There isn't anybody online, so Delegate Freitas, you have the last word, sir. Oh, hold on. Delegate Ferris. You have a question
yes,
question for Delegate Freitas?
Yes, sir. Delegate Freitas, will this allow you to know who to haunt if what you ate hurt you and possibly killed you?
Say that, Mr. Chairman.
So if you were done harm, it would and you turn into a ghost, you could haunt the person that sold you your food, is what he's asking.
I would see that as a friendly amendment if it would move the bill along.
Delegate Fraser, you have the last word.
I think we're good.
Mr. Chairman,
Delegate Orrock.
I move lay on table.
Not even gently. Wow.
All right. There's been a motion to lay the bill on the table and properly seconded. All those wishing to cast their vote on the voting board.
Okay, yeah, I can't see. I can't see who I owe Christmas.
All right. Clerk will close the roll. Delegate
ghost
Ferris
amendment.
likes to haunt. Bill is laid on the table 1802 is laid on the table 9-1. Thank you, Delegate Freitas. All right. Thank you very much to the committee. That concludes our work for this half of session. We are adjourned.